Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tidy Tuesday by the person who should not be doing anything about tidiness because I'm a slob. But we're talking about digital tidying today. And look at Kitty comes up. She comes up straight up. She has got her cue. I swear, as the music, she was leaping up onto the thing right as the music was like doing a fun thing. It was just really cool. Anyway, let's quickly say hi to the people in the front row who are Thomas Christ and the original E. Urban. And I see some more of you out there. And of course, I know some people will be watching on the replay, especially people who are interested in finding out how I got rid of 200 gigs worth of stuff on my iPad. OM freaking G. Holy hell. So, let's just, right up here is my link tree. You can either follow some of the links that Thomas is dropping, or you could just come straight over here. Boom. And then there's Patreon. As you can see, I've got my Patreon members cycling underneath me. They support me literally, like they lift me up on your screen. So there's that. And then there's all these lovely ways to support the channel, but you don't have to do any of those. Just watching is good enough, my friends. So Tuesdays have gotten crazy for me, and they're going to remain crazy all winter until we move back to the summer schedule, because my roommate works at 1 as well. So I'm working at 1 and he's working at 1. So I have to drop him off early, and then I have to be like, and race back here. I don't even put any makeup on or anything. I don't have a coffee, but I'm here, and that's what matters. It's going to be worse at 12 though, because I'm going to be working from 12 to 1. So how in the hell is he going to get to work? I hope his truck is fixed by then. Data hoarding. I hear that, Herbs. I so hear it. All right, let's bring in the iPad herself. And I wrote down the other day, because I forgot to take a screenshot before I started deleting. So I took I wrote down with a marker and a piece of paper how many gigs of stuff I had. The gigs I had 746 gigs. And let's go look now and find out how many gigs we've got. Hey, George Daly, what's up? This is a work stream, George. That sounds like... I have an iPad and I use paper and a marker. Yes, because I love my paper and marker. I love it. I grew up that way. All right, let's look at my iPad storage, friends. 544.85. 544. That is 202 gigabytes. I got rid of 202 gigabytes worth of stuff. Oh, that's exciting. Hang on a second. I'm like, my jacket has green in it and I'm freezing. So I'm going to just hop over and grab a jacket and I'll be right back. So you just feast your eyes. No, feast your eyes upon this. Feast your eyes. Is that the Semtex Cow? Cow Public Service. Holy shit. Cow Public Service announcement. It says Google has been hacked. Loss of maybe 1 billion accounts. Change your passwords. Recommended Google, Microsoft, eBay, and Amazon all possibly compromised. Yikes. Well, hey, let's change our password live on camera. Wouldn't that be awesome? We could learn so much. That's not a good thing at all. Yeah, let's check that out. Let's take a look. Let's look. We've got an iPad right here. Let's look that up. Google. Compromised. Here we go. "11 hours ago, warning to all Gmail users after 183 million email accounts are hacked." Holy hell. And then it says here, Google disputes false claims of massive Gmail data breach. Google says talk of Gmail breach impacting millions not true 9 hours ago. Oh my God. Yeah, I have two-factor. But I should probably change my password, and I will, but not on camera, not live on camera, not live on camera. Yeah, they ain't saying that Google's linked to everything. I hear you. Yeah. But anyway, let's go back to talking about getting stuff off the iPad. So I'll tell you the couple of the things I did, and I didn't want to do them on camera because it's intensely boring. But so let's go to Files. And we'll look at, this one that's called Assets over here. Assets is a 1 terabyte hard drive. Yeah, my phone does go off if somebody tries. And actually, my internet, my ISP does. Yeah, absolutely, you guys. This is very concerning. A bunch of bad things keep happening, and we do need to keep our damn eyes open, my friends. Oops. Sorry about that clonking. I'm just moving my MIDI keyboard away because my MIDI keyboard obviously isn't necessary for what we're doing today. All have been. Even if it's bullshit. Yeah, exactly. I hear it. I hear you. So better safe than sorry. But maybe the thing is that maybe right now you're being compromised, and when you jump in on have I been pwned? What is that? Have I been pwned.com? Have I been pwned? So if someone wants to do some research on that, Jade Star, welcome. Yes, I know you were born compromised, E. Urban. All right, so these are the brand new things. So this one, if you are using LumaFusion and you're in there going, oh my God, look how full my LumaFusion is. So we're going to go back, and you'll see that down here underneath iPad storage, it tells you a bunch of the stuff that is using the most data. So for mine, Kymatica is audio share and AUM. So that's 100 gigs of stuff right there. Soundbox has 89.23 gigs. And you see, the thing is, what was going on is every time I got a new Soundbox pack, I saved it on my iPad I have a separate samples folder where I keep samples that I'm using, only it's gotten completely overrun, and now it's just filled with all kinds of samples that I'm not even using, and it's just cluttering up my machine. So I realized that, and I took all of my Soundbox packs, which we're going back to my Files app now. So they were on my iPad, and I've kept it. Samples, Soundbox packs. See how now it says 0 items right here? There used to be a whole crap ton of items. So what I did was I saved them over here on this assets file, and then I deleted them all. So I still have them all saved, but I have them saved on a hard drive that I can stick in a drawer and not worry about it. So that was 89 gigs, and that was an immediate good start. So here's the first thing. When I deleted 89 gigs worth of stuff from my iPad, immediately it did not change. It did not change the storage. What happened was it took a while for this folder right here, recently deleted, took a while to populate with all of the things that I deleted when I deleted an 89 gig folder worth of stuff. What's this? So anyway, let's just check and see how much stuff I actually put on this. I'm going to put get info. So that's how you do that. You right click or long press your file, and then you hit get info. And here you can see all this interesting information. It's got a terabyte, but it's got 465.73 gigs available. It's got 534 gigs used. So I put 200 gigs on this just yesterday. So it's gotten rather full, right? But here are the other things that I did besides removing my Soundbox packs. So just make sure that you don't have duplicates like that. That would be a really good way to check and see if you can remove stuff off of your iPad without even getting rid of any of your functionality or any of your current apps that you're using. That, I think, deleting apps is a later thing to get to after we do what we do, right? So, and guess what? Today we're not going to just talk about removing things from your hard drive. I'm going to play around with what does digital detox actually mean, and are there more ways that I can digitally detox so that I can retox by making stuff that I want to make instead of getting a lot of brainless content into my head. Anyway, second kinds of stuff. There was actually way more stuff in Kymatica before. Let's go back to our settings, and we can see Kymatica has 100 gigs of stuff. And I removed it was probably like 130 or something, or 20. And I removed all of my, hey, Shelly, what's up? Why do you turn off apps? You may not have to turn off any apps. If they're taking up too much space, that would be bad. Anyway, so I've got 30 gigs of stuff on Logic Pro. I've got 28 on Pure Synth. I've got 26 in Final Cut Pro, which I actually am going to just delete probably. And in fact, let's go over there. I know this isn't extremely, so right in here, I could be like, let's create a new folder and call it, I've got Luma projects. So let's call this Final Cut Pro Projects, FCP Projects. And now we will look on my iPad and we'll see what's going on. Let's look for it. So the way that I easily find folders is I sort them by name. Then you can just look throughout. So where is that? Final Cut Pro, Final Cut Pro, Final Cut Pro. And then I'm just going to delete the app. That's what I did. I deleted LumaFusion and reinstalled it. And I will show you quickly. So if you have LumaFusion, we will get to that. Let's go. Is there anything Final Cut Pro? I don't see anything for Final Cut Pro. Maybe it's all under, but it says it's storing things. Well, I say let's check. Let's look and find out where let's look and find out where they store them. Where are Final Cut Pro projects stored on iPad? Yeah, sometimes you want to bury your eyes in stacks of cards and not look at screens. I hear that. La la la. Either internally within the app itself or externally in one of two locations. The On My iPad folder or on an external soldier tray. Internal projects are automatically deleted if you delete the Final Cut Pro app, while external projects are saved independently and can be moved to other devices. So, they will not have an icon next to their name. They're deleted when you uninstall. I don't know. Let's open up Final Cut Pro. There we go. Because I don't have a subscription to it now, so I should just be able to see your subscription. Let's see if we can export that. It doesn't seem to let us export it. Here we go. Export. Final Cut Pro for iPad project. There you go. Include all media. Export. And now we save to files. And now we'll go in here to Assets, FCP Projects, Save. And it takes a minute. All your projects belong to us. So that's a thing that we do. It just saves. It takes its time. Obviously, I don't want to sit and do all of that with you. And I did the exact same thing with LumaFusion. I had a whole bunch of projects. I had 100 gigs worth of projects, and I sent them as project packages to my assets thing. And what I'm going to do is restore one and then send it back out so you can see what I did. See, this is time consuming, but the thing is that while I was doing this at the same time, there was two different things I was doing. First, every time I was waiting for something, I would go and I had laundry, so I was folding clothes. So I was going in between my desk and my iPad and sitting there and doing this like really kind of boring cleaning work there. So then I was switching back and forth between cleaning physically and cleaning digitally. So I thought that was rather useful. And then once I got done, now see, I can just go delete project. Boom. So I'm just going to delete. I'm gonna end up doing this later. But as you can see, when we go back to settings, that there are 26 gigs of files there. So you enjoy cleaning, I know. I would If I had if I had a house in my backyard, I would let you live there just for cleaning. Imagine being fed and taken care of just because you're good at cleaning. Yes, wives have known this for centuries. Anyway, so as you can see, I figured out how to get stuff out of Final Cut Pro. So I'm going to get another 26 gigs back because I'm not even using it anymore. Same with Cubasis 3. There's 12 gigs of stuff on Cubasis 3, and I'm not using Cubasis 3. So let's open up Cubasis 3 and see what else we've got going. Open up Cubasis 3. The Bob Ross of cleaning. Do. So that's a very useful thing right there in settings is your little spot where you say, this is what we do. Let's go. I'm hard pressing them. These you may just want, it may be that you can just delete them as projects. Let's go and look in our Files app on my iPad. And here we're going to go up to Cubasis 3. There we go. And here are your projects. Boom. There's all those projects. Wow, that's a lot of projects. So we could just go projects. We can just take this and what I do, nope, not share. Well, let's get back. Projects. This happy little sock in the laundry basket. So I'm going to go move. And we're going to go assets. And then I'm going to call it, let's go Cubasis 3. Look at Cubas is 3. All right. So copy all that. That's going to take a long time, so we'll just ignore that. It's going to be working in the background. And here I'm going to show you with my my cursor right here up top. You see it says Cubasis 3, and then you just like slide over here and see this little clock. See how it's your progress. Copying projects, 378 blanked up megabytes of 7.08 gigabytes. About 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. So I could actually delete, once I've got all my projects copied over, I could just literally delete Cubasis from my machine. And then later on, if I want to use it, I can reinstall it, because that is what I did with LumaFusion. And LumaFusion was 100 gigs, and now it barely moved the needle. Putting it back on like really added like a gig. It's pretty amazing. Actually, let's go over and look. We can look at I believe that the App Store tells you how much data an app takes by itself. There we go, App Store. And we'll look it up. And we'll go LumaFusion. There we go. And here we go. It should be over. There it goes, size. It's 230.6 megs. Megs, you guys. Cubensies. Yeah, right? Just a little touch of snuggle soft blue, right? So you can see that I removed 100 gigs and I only put 230 megabytes back on. And now I've got the full gorgeous, beautiful functionality of LumaFusion back. And it isn't filled with all kinds of crud and like all kinds of files and videos that were for projects that you've long since posted up on YouTube and don't need to be cluttering up that iPad. Even 1 or 2 gigs doesn't look like much anymore. I know, right? But 26 gigs is, let's see, it's a 1/40th. Yeah, LumaFusion is the worst. All right, so we are actually going to go back now, and we're going to go into files. We can stop looking at the progress. Look, it's almost halfway done. Whoa, that was weird. Ah! Uh-oh. That was weird. Oh my God. This is even weirder. Holy hell. Oh my gosh. It's going. What is happening? This is so weird. Yeah, it might be my capture card. Good point. All right, let's watch this. We're going to get a new capture card. Live. How about, is it echoing now? Maybe I'll just try to keep doing this. It's an international incident. All right, let's go back. You can hear me? Can you hear me? I hope so. Let's I kind of forgot what I was doing. Let's look at. All right. Okay, it's still connected. That's good. Yeah. No, I don't use Windows. I have 2 Windows computers, but I don't use them right now. Okay, let's see if that Cubasis 3 projects. Oh, that's broken now because let's delete it. And I'd have to redo it. So but we can do that later. Let me show you. All right, let's come back in here. Now we're going to go back into Luma projects. Now we'll just find one. Let's find a small one. Carnival. See, I just tapped it and now look. It literally just opens. It should just open in LumaFusion. Yeah, look, it just repopulated the project. See? There wasn't any sound in this one. So now I can actually show you how to get rid of it. And this is how. See, I've got my cursor. Hey, Kubrick Lover 1972. Yeah, so I got this weird little thing here, this funny bit of stuff. So we go back here. Now this is, we're in our spot. Now you, whoops. So your project is highlighted. And as soon as your project is highlighted, you have to go down to the share sheet. That's second from the right on the bottom. And then choose LumaFusion Project Package. And then I chose Share and AirDrop. And include full original media, larger file. So I included the full original media. And then I tap the share button again. Archive info, share and AirDrop. Tap, it archives it. And then I said save to files. And there it is. It would be, you would go back and you would find your Luma projects. And it's already in here, so I don't want to resave it. But you would just click save, and then it would go through the little line thing, right? But it's already been archived, so I'm just going to delete it. Carnival delete. But now let's go look and find out what's happened in our LumaFusion folder. On my iPad, we're going to scroll way down to LumaFusion. Or past LumaFusion because you're not paying attention. L. There we go. There we go. Projects. There's nothing. User media, one item. There we go. See? We got to get rid of our user media. Delete. Now it's gone. Ba-boom. Then you go to recently deleted. And then I'm just going to go. You can either recover or delete it if you swish it. Yes, I do want to delete it because it's a repeat. All right, awesome. So what I did before I moved all my projects over, we will look in here, and this is what I've done. So I put story blocks. I copied all the story blocks. So there's hundreds of things in here, right? I copied all that over, so just in case, in case I need to repopulate my projects. And I copied. It's inside of a different. So inside of homemade footage, there is user media, and user media is where I see. User media is where I saved all of my, that is where you save all the stuff that you import. So that's also backed up. That probably doesn't need to be backed up, but I've just got it double backed up just in case. So that's basically it. You just you send your projects, you delete. Then I deleted the entire app and reinstalled it because it does keep a bunch of stuff. And I had everything backed up, so I just reinstalled it, and boom. In half an hour, I have just told you how to clear the heck out of your iPad. So, we can continue with that later. I'm not going to just sit here and delete my Cubasis, and let's look back. Double checking. Oh, yes, so in audio share, I have I had a file called EDM. It's where I store all my midnight chill stuff. And I copied that all over to this assets file and assets midnight chill. So this is where all my midnight chill songs are. And if we want to take a look, I long pressed get info. This is 14 gigs. So that's just sitting there, little 14 gigs. And now when I want to run my songs for Midnight Chill, I can either place them back on my iPad or I can run them off of my attached hard drive. My jump drive, my flash drive, flashy, flashy, flash. Right on. Now, let's take a look at, let's see, what is involved with digital detox. See, because somebody said I called it digital detox, just detoxing and unfilling my, making my iPad more empty and ready to be filled with more projects and fun, and it runs faster. But there's another way to digital detox, and that is to be on your stuff less, right? So it's like taking a voluntary break from your electronic devices like your smartphones and computers to reduce stress and regain balance. Key components include setting time limits for apps, turning off notifications, designating tech-free times or zones, like during meals or in the bedroom, and replacing screen time with offline activities like exercising, socializing, reading, or spending time outdoors. So, unplugging, yes, I don't unfortunately, my machine was trying to detox me during my show, as the cow points out. But, so, there's more to it. So, see, unplugging is just one thing. So, unplugging and using less data, there's ways, like, for example, I have been trying to not use my device so much when I'm out walking the dogs. Right? Yeah, error message, go touch grass. So when I'm out walking the dogs, every day I take photos of the mountain or where the mountain would be if it wasn't covered by clouds, because I'm doing a project, which is something I'm going to share with my Patreons pretty soon. And because the end of the year is coming up, so I'm going to do some kind of really cool visual thing as a time lapse of that spot. But I don't have to be staring at my screen the whole time. I can stuff it in my pocket, and then I'm walking, and then I get to the viewpoint, and then I click the picture, and then I put it back in my pocket, right? Cow says, I use Windows in the morning for the weather report. I open the blinds and look outside. So very much. Mindfulness, becoming more aware of how and why you use technology to establish healthier boundaries. So here's a thing that I don't know if you know that is on your app thing, but it's called screen time. Whoops. Screen time. Daily average 9 hours and 7 minutes, down 18% from last week. Woohoo! So here it actually gives you a spot. It gives you a way to do this here right inside your settings in screen time. So you can see all app and website activities. Entertainment, 9 hours. Games, 7 hours. Creativity, 4 hours and 37 minutes. 27 hours and 23 minutes. That was my week. Yikes. So most used, YouTube. So listening to stuff on YouTube isn't the same thing if I'm so the screen is on, but I'm not looking at it. A lot of times I take and I put something on YouTube and I go clean. So that in its way has a digital detox vibe to it. So I'm in my so I was in my files for 6 hours and 19 minutes. This is all my detoxing I was doing. Oh no, I played Sugar Blast for 5 hours and 43 minutes. See, Sugar Blast is a huge problem I have. Games. Colorwood Sort, 1 hour, 53 minutes. Now that game has ads in it. LumaFusion, 3 hours and 54 minutes. Safari, 56 minutes. Logic Pro, 50 minutes. So I pick it up 17 times a day, it says. Monday, it says I pick it up the most times. Now remember, I'm using this I'm using this for work, right? Does this mean you only use analog synths during a digital detox? Yes, I'm addicted to Sugar Blast. Exactly. All right, so this one now, here's ways it gives you to limit your usage. Here's downtime, schedule time away from the screen. During downtime, only apps that you choose to allow and phone calls will be available. Ooh. Let's see what happens. From 10 p.m. to 7 a.m.? I know, I spent more time on Sugar Blast than LumaFusion. So edit schedule, right? But I don't even get up at 7, so I could easily put 11. And then only apps you choose to allow. So here it is, set time, always allowed. So app categories, add limit. So games. Sugar Blast. Oh wow, look at all my games. It actually lets me have my games, right? So here's some games I can remove. Let's actually do this. We can see this. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go look for Colorwood Sort. Now I'm going to see if I can delete it. There we go. Delete app. Bye-bye. Yeah. Now back into games. Here we go. Hex away. Hexa away. Whoops. Anyway. Hexa away. There we go. Let's delete that. Delete. We don't want to be playing games here. And then I can limit my Sugar Blast. Let's go back. Random words. What is random words? Let's find out what random words is. Don't allow. I don't even know what this is. This sounds terrible. This does not sound like a good game I want to play. Let's get rid of it. Ba-booey. Delete app. Delete. Well, if you like Sugar Blast, never played games, no Nintendo or what all, not ever played Alien Shooter on an iPad before. Yeah, Sugar Blast. Yes. Answer your questions, heathen granny. What's a Sugar Blast? Oh, we don't want to get there. Maybe if we have time, I'll show you what Sugar Blast does. I don't want to get anyone else freaking addicted to it. That sounds like a terrible idea. All right, let's look in these games again. Fruit Ninja Classic. Differences. Get rid of Fruit Ninja Classic. Bye-bye. Now, what was that other one? What? Oh. All right, back to settings, back to add limit, back to games. Differences. There we go. We'll delete that. Now we're going to get rid. See, we got rid of some games. Maybe we'll have gotten rid of a little bit more. Always stick with the classic Fruit Ninja. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, of course. So back to the settings, back to looking at adding limits. So now I can go in and I say Sugar Blast. I have a limit. 1 hour. There we go. If I get an hour. Oh no, 1 hour. And now we get back. Choose apps to allow at all times. Here we go. Alteza. Hey, Chris the Singer, CQ. All these analog ones. Just, we'll throw all of these. App Store, we can do App Raven, these arguments, Aries. Just these are just music ones, so I can put all of these on here. Bandcamp for artists. And these are all things I can just use. Audible. Maybe not. Audio editor, audio recorder, audio bus 3. These are all like audio share, of course. These are productivity apps. AUM. They're always, anything that I'm going to use to write music is easy. Add. Yeah, control the addiction. Add YouTube to the list. What? Well, if I miss it, I can always change. But I may not miss it at all. See what I'm saying? Bandit, Banshee Nano, these are all things I used to work. Work. Sky Moon. Whee. Black hole. Blease. I'm bleaced out. Whoops, I didn't want blue sky on there. Oops. Remove. The clinic is broken. Yeah. Is you going to be sent to the YouTube clinic? I know. Butter Synth. Bounce Bud. How about books? I can always look at my bank account, I guess. I can always use my calculator. I can always use my camera. Camo Studio. Contoria. Canva. Cascade. Chord generator. Chameleon. Chaos. I probably shouldn't have put ChatGPT on there, but I did. Chord AI is something I use to make music. Chord Bud, Chordify, Chord Jam, Chords Gen, Chord Weaver, Chord Classic Effects. You guys get the point anyway. All the things I'm going to go through and use these screen time things. Always allowed apps. Screen distance. I don't have Face ID, so I'm not going to do that. Communication set. I don't need any of this stuff. Sweet. Whoa. Kubrick is a person talking up that new blue stuff going around at rehab meetings. Ha ha! He's a pusher. Talk to you later, Shelly. All right, you guys. It's almost time for Jade's. I think it's time to make sure that I have set my dump. Studio YouTube. And now what is Ms. Jade up to? I bet you Thomas knows. That blue sugar blast. Yeah, I know. It's pretty scary. All right, we're going to look in here. Tidy Tuesday Digital Detox. We're going to go into my customization. Whoops, I hate the leaderboard. Why is it there? You have to remove it every single day. That drives me insane. Exodus expansion for Playbeat 4 is what she's doing. So we're going to save that. And then your leaderboard will disappear. And you will be able to keep your hands inside the ride and make it all the way over to Jade's house. On the way. Very good. Woohoo. Breaking Bad. You guys are crazy. All right, let's wind up because we've only got like 6 minutes, so you'll take pics along the way. I'm going to put up my hey, I'm gone. You can't see me. I'm hiding. Here's my hands. No. No, I think you guys have seen everything you need to see from my iPad. We will wrap up with my face. I know. Back to the face. Roar. Yeah. My hair is like, I just ran a straightener through my hair, which as you can see, doesn't make it very straight. And no makeup today. So that's just me and my naked iPad. I'm going to look because you can't see, you couldn't have seen me anyway, but I'm going to quickly go to my settings and I'm going to find out if we removed any storage. Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, we got rid of another full gig of stuff. I only have 543 gigs on here now. Fascinating. Good times. Right on. So today we talked about how to get rid of the bloat in your LumaFusion, to get rid of projects in Final Cut Pro, to get rid of projects in Cubasis, and then you can delete the apps and reinstall them when you need to, and you can restore a project if you want to. That will save tons and tons of space on your machine. And then we also discussed how to get into your settings and give yourself downtime off of your thing, and to make so certain game apps and such will stop playing if you play them for too long. All really useful stuff for a digital detox. Uh-huh. Nice. All right. As you can see, we're going to head on over to Jade's. We're going to look at the expansion for Playbeat 4. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to dress up in a costume and play my guitar and sing, or, play backing tracks and sing. Both of those things, perhaps. And then Friday is Halloween, and I will also be dressing up then, and we will be guiding you to the space between the worlds. Other than that, my friends, see you over at Jade's. Have an awesome, awesome rest of your day. Biggest love and all the peace that you can carry, baby. Mwah.